Hey everyone, I wanted to make this quick video clarifying how to solve an inequality like x squared less than 9. Okay, 3 squared is 9, and negative 3 squared is 9. So technically there's two numbers that you can square to get 9. But when we take the square root of 9, we only call it positive 3 because we've made an agreement basically that when we take square roots we only want positive numbers. So we have to make sure that when you take the square roots of things, you get a positive number out of it. So here, if we're taking the square root of x squared, we have to guarantee that the x that we get out of there is positive. So we have to put it in absolute values. If you just write that the square root of x squared is equal to x, that's like saying a problem like this, the square root of negative 3 squared, would just be equal to negative 3. And that's a problem because we already said we only want square roots to output positive numbers. So if you put the absolute values in there like you're supposed to, then that's going to give us a positive 3. So it's basically just guaranteeing that whatever you get out of a square root, that output is positive. So we'll start by taking the square root of both sides. The square root of x squared is absolute value of x. And this gives us two answers. Right? If x is 3, absolute value of 3 is 3. And if x is negative 3, the absolute value of negative 3 is also 3. And so typically we write this as one answer, x equals plus or minus 3. Same idea over here. We get absolute value of x. And here we split it into two inequalities. The first is x greater than 3, just like it looks like, without the absolute value. Or x, when we flip both of them, less than negative 3. If you think about it, what this is doing on a number line, we put our 3 and negative 3 here, we're just trying to find all the values who, regardless of their sign, are bigger than 3. So like all the positive values, obviously, 3, 5, 6, 700, but all the values less than negative 3, like negative 4, negative 10, negative 20, those values, without the sign, those values are larger than 3. So when you take the absolute value, these values will be bigger than 3. So x greater than 3 are these values, and x less than negative 3 are these values, all of which satisfy this. We don't want the values on the inside because these are less than 3, which we're going to see in a second. So same start over here, square root of x squared, square root of 9, absolute value of x less than 3. Now we split it into two inequalities, x less than 3 like we see, then we flip it. Oops, this would be greater than negative 3. And then typically we write this as one inequality, call it a compound inequality, like that. And again, this means the same thing, x is less than 3, so here's x less than 3, and x is greater than negative 3, x greater than negative 3, so this means the same thing. And then we're getting these values here, right? X less than 3 points this way, x greater than negative 3 points this way, and the overlap, the places where it satisfies both, are right here. So this is the inequality I was after. So these are our final answers for the inequalities, and I hope that helps and clarifies things. Let me know if you still have any questions.